All right, so what to expect for this week crypto market outlook? Should we see more downwards or should we continue to go down all the way to 42.4K? All right, is this the real bottom or is this the fake relief rally that everyone is expecting? Okay, to hit at least 70,000. But nonetheless, we can see we have another 2 more days left for the Clarity Act official day to take place. But all in all, you can see the market is creating a relief rally, okay, due to the bullish event that is happening, okay. And of course, talk about the sentiment of the market, still bearish, but still waiting on the sideline still, okay. So current downturn was not as dangerous as a full-blown aggressive short selling move, okay. So why are still people waiting below 50K? That is the key here that everyone is talking about. Okay, because I think not only me, but a lot of people are expecting one more last drop. Now, if we're going to expect one more last drop, will the market really obey? Because if we're going to follow the 4-year cycle, that it should be the case, right? Expect one more last drop from the finally get the bottom by September, October onwards, which is Q4. Okay, so Bitcoin went down about 3.21%. Okay, facing projection somewhere around 64.4, 64.6K. Okay, the local resistance zone. Okay, and yeah, we can see a lot of leverage also being flush. All those short selling are getting related. Okay, and of course, right now what we can see is that the setup, okay, it's slowly pushing towards the upside. Okay, so bears are getting wrecked for the near short term. Okay, and of course, look at the Bitcoin perpetual market pressure index as well. Okay? So what do we see in this perpetual DAX here? Okay, so if we look at this black line here is representing Bitcoin price. While this line, I'm not sure whether this is a light blue line, okay, pressure index. I think this could be the pressure index here. And then the light blue line here, pressure index SME is 30. So now you can see is that the pressure is slowly starting towards the bearish pressure. It's heading down. Okay, and it's aligning and intersecting all these 3 lines together. Okay, so probably you should see more downwards or one more last. Okay, probably to retest again at the 40% for this market pressure. But let's see, because I think this could be the final bottom. Okay, the bottom most likely already hit at least 60 to 70%. But again, even though if it is a bottom, it will not do a V-shaped recovery just like that. It will consolidate. Okay, it will range for months, weeks. Okay, it could be a year as well. Next year could be a very long-ranging accumulation as well. So that could be the case, right? If you are looking to accumulate. Okay, right. Then we look at stablecoin outflows to leave Bitcoin vulnerable, okay, to heighten volatility. Okay, so recent price drop was not one such moment, but steady selling pressure, the lack of demand pushed the market towards a tipping point. Yeah, so if you look at the USDT dominance as well, the USDT dominance is, really already retesting at the all-time high resistance, teasing at the all-time high. I think it's looking set to break. Okay, just a matter of time. Once we had this last drop for Bitcoin, I think it's going to hit a new all-time high for the USDT dominance as well. Okay, so MVRV pricing bands. Okay, so where are we now? You see, Bitcoin is hovering around at the green line. Okay, it's 1.0 at the moment. So if you are not familiar with this on-chain, it doesn't matter. Most importantly is that, okay, we are probably almost at the bottom. Okay, and it is about a good time to actually accumulate. You might want to nibble a bit because we are currently down about 54% from the all-time high, which is also a big deal to actually dollar cost average. Okay, if you really can't wait, right? Okay, but for us, I think probably we're going to start nibbling around September, October. That will be the case for Bitcoin alone. Okay, then moving on next, right? We talk about the Clarity Act, which is this coming Friday. So I already expect that Bitcoin and the whole crypto market will rally all the way to Friday. And I think probably by Friday onwards, that's where might see a peak on top. If it ever reaches 70K to 71, or probably by 75, that could be the extreme peak for a lower high before we hit down again. Because no matter how bullish the event, eventually the market will tend to sell off news. No matter how bullish, you look at all those previous historical events, like Token 2049, the Solana event, Denver event, Ethereum event, Bitcoin.com event, anything that is this kind of crypto event, that sounds so bullish, but really end of the day, once the event finish or once during the event happens, take place, price starts down, price starts to peak. Okay, so yeah, and then we talk about Trump as well. Looking forward to really push for the Clarity Act as well. I think there's also some scrutiny over his earnings on crypto, right? A couple of billion earned so far from being a president. Okay, so I think the opposition, right, which is a Democrat, probably might going to stop the challenge on this clarity bill to continue. That's the thing. Okay, so what to expect? The key takeaway here is that the Senate has roughly 4 weeks before its August 10 recess, but the date is political constraint rather than formal deadline. Okay, and then Senate committees have advanced separate parts of the market structure framework, and the unified floor version has not yet been published. Then if we talk about developer protection, right? If you are a developer of the crypto platform, providing services, providing DeFi, bridging, swapping, or whichever it is, right? I think that's where it comes into place as well for the Clarity Act. Because we want to have a Clarity Act where company only focus on standalone point rather than focusing on DeFi. So when you're focusing on DeFi, that's where the complication is. So that adds another complexity into the Clarity Act. And then 17 July, right? Okay, Friday, House hearing and renewed public support from the White House. Okay, the Trump, Cynthia Lewis will be there. And of course, increased political pressure not to guarantee a Senate vote. Okay, so I think probably this 17 July, I don't think it's going to be an official push. Most likely to have more clarity, right, on this hearing, House hearing. Okay, so whatever proposal that they are going to propose on the 17th, so they're going to make sure that it's clear. Okay, where is the direction that they're going to take? Whether are they going to focus on standalone project, okay, just only one sole token, or do you want to focus not only on standalone, but with DeFi comes together, staking, providing yields? So I really hope that they can be able to make a decision, okay, that benefits both parties as well. And then two committee proposals still needs one Senate bill. Okay, all right. So we can see that the Senate Agriculture Committee advanced the Digital Commodity Interest Act. That's on January, focusing on CFEC authority over digital commodities. Okay, so drafting process is material because difference between the commodities can affect, okay, which tokens falls under each regulator, how platforms register, what obligations apply to software developer and decentralized protocols. So you see here the key. These are the things that is very important. Okay, how platforms register, what obligations apply to software developers and DeFi protocol. So you see, this is the thing. It's not easy to tackle. Okay, so I think there's going to be a huge challenge on the 17th. This I think probably they're going to bring it up as well. If they want to benefit for staking, for B2B and B2C as well. Okay, so what the framework will change. Okay, so central objectives will replace the current base by base, case by base case approach with statutory rules for determining when a digital asset is regulated as a security when it falls within the CFTC's digital commodity jurisdiction. So I think with the Clarity Act, once confirmed, all digital asset, okay, I think most likely will not be considered as a security. Okay, let's see. Okay, because I think right now in crypto, before the Clarity Act, there are a lot of gray area right now. So even Gary Gensler also during his time as a SEC chairman. Right? Simple question on Ethereum, whether is Ethereum a security or not. So you can't even answer. Right? It's just a simple yes. So again, I think with the Clarity Act, it gives much more clarity, okay, in terms of moving forward. And we talk about developer protection as well. Okay. All right. Because this is not an easy job. Because the main core foundation all comes from developers. They are the one who actually built the system, the ecosystem, the structure of the project, the platform to bridge consumers, traders, right, who wants to use the service. Okay, so that also comes into place. So let's see. And of course, all these are political. Trump and Cynthia Lewis, that is their own. But nonetheless, I think I don't have any high expectation on the 70. Okay. All right. Because I think this is just to propose rather than confirming that we're going to pass this thing. Because there are a lot of things that you need to take into consideration. Right. So let's see how is the progress is doing. Right. And I don't know when is the next one after 70. Right. So until now we can't even confirm. And then moving on next. Okay. Talk about Ripple. Okay. More of the OG. Okay. Since the last 2 years cycle, last two crypto cycle. And of course, talk about retail FOMO. Okay. Is this the retail FOMO that we are looking for those alts to come back again? Probably yes, probably not. Okay, we can see some of the alts are slowly starting to recover from the bottom and have already broke past the down bearish trend line. Okay, but is this really the real breakout? That's the most. Now we can see Ripple. Okay, right, slowly starting to come up again, and we can see retail slowly starting to buy the dip, go aggressive. So let's see. Talking about the crypto sentiment. Okay, turning bullish despite the dip. Okay, so Ripple. Okay, not a lot of XRP army. Okay, XRP Maxi still hodling. Okay, from day one till now, not even sell, but look at XRP sentiment, right? Has totally shifted sharply. Okay, as bullish commentary. Okay, around the token has reached a 5-week high, right? 5-week high. All right, so you look at the technicals as well, you can see, yeah, most of the coins are probably already at the extreme bottom, or probably down about 90%. So that's where it makes sense, where the market tends to create a relief value or a lower high before heading down again. So that's the thing, right? That's where markets like to catch people who actually thinks that the bottom is already in. Give you a false hope, right? A bull trap before it hits down. So that's why it's very dangerous, right? You have all the time in the world. Why can't you just wait? So if you look here, retail showing 5-week high FOMO, okay, towards XRP and Ethereum, okay, despite the big price. So yeah, we can see Ripple has 3.02 bullish comments, 1.00 bearish major FOMO. Then while Ethereum has about 2.31 bullish comments, and then BTC has 1.4. So you can see already the top of the town is Ripple. Okay, so and Ripple have a big community, right? If you are not aware, especially in Discord, especially in Twitter, your own thing. Right? It's like a cult religion, right? You have their own people who are actually being a solid promoter, pro maxi on XRP, right? Telling you to hodl, buy, keep buying, don't let go. Okay, but again, like I tell you, I believe this is actually short term for this trend. Okay, and crypto typically moves opposite to what the crowd is not really expecting. So when traders get too bullish on XRP or Ethereum, while price are already dipping, you can create short-term downside risk, at least slow down. Yeah, which is absolutely true. So no matter when you see when something is pretty much bullish, that's why you have to be very, very cautious. This could be the sign of a top or peak for that movement. Okay, and then talking about XRP global payment as well, I think they have some new utility coming on. Okay, from Brett Garlinghouse, CEO of Ripple. Okay, so payment gateways, right? Utility, so important. Okay, and yeah, I think probably we should see some movement for XRP. Slowly starting to see the bottom, probably create a lower high, come down again, consolidate for this Q4 as well. Okay, and then we look at the report of CEO as pointed to the scale of global payment flows as a potential opportunity for blockchain-based financial system. Okay, so 16 trillion payments, $16 trillion payment market is a part of the broader opportunity for expanded financial infrastructure. So as we know that I think most of the institutions, companies are using Ripple platform or a gateway for payment solution. Okay, all right. That is why also it could spark some bullish more sentiment for Ripple alone. Okay, with this thing. All right, so that is it. And then moving on next. Okay, we talk about how asset managers are actually investing. A lot of people are actually curious, how does the asset manager actually manages your funds if they are actually investing in crypto? But we have all those public mutual, okay, and all those equity index funds. These are all fund managers, right? So I think you roughly know how they invest and segregate your risk into a separate basket. Okay. Okay. So yeah, we dive in deep into this. Okay. So asset manager invest in crypto mainly for through regulated products, and most of the time it's mostly on spot ETF. Digital asset funds, tokenized funds, qualified custodian, and blockchain. Did you see any product with leverage? No, they don't. And that's the thing. Why they don't buy or they even trade the funds on leverage, knowingly that it's extremely high risk because it's not the underlying asset. You have to take one, right? So you think that asset manager or fund manager think that they're really, really going to take your funds and you're going to trade on leverage? Absolutely not, right? It is a suicide mission to actually trade leverage. So most of the time, spot or cash position. Okay, that is the real underlying asset. In the event if things go wrong, you can just sell at a loss. Okay. Okay, so most invest on behalf of clients rather than own accounts. So that's why we can see people like Tom Lee with his own fund manager company like DNR, not mistaken, for Ethereum. Whose money is he investing? It's not his own company's money or his own pocket. It's come from the investor. So that's why he can able to go to CNBC or whichever financial market news, putting his reputation on the line, screaming for exit liquidity, wanting retail FOMO to come in to buy. Okay, so this kind of people, okay, they're actually bidding. And then look at the key takeaway here. Okay, so most of the time they invest clients' money, not their own pocket. So you have to understand that it's investing your money if you're investing or you're getting an asset manager to help you to manage. So most of their crypto activity is building and running products for investors rather than betting the firm's own balance sheet. So you see here, they are actually betting your own money rather than the firm's own balance sheet. Okay, and on top of that, if they make profit, they're going to take a cut from that, right? So that's the thing. The main routes are spot Bitcoin, Ethereum ETF, actively managed digital asset funds, direct holdings with qualified custodian, tokenized fund, and blockchain. And then, of course, Bitcoin is the primary, right, in terms of digital asset. Okay, while the pioneer or the most trustable, okay, compared to other cryptos. Okay, all right. So there are many reasons why asset manager invest in crypto. First thing is because client demand. Monkey see, monkey do. They look at BlackRock, look at Fidelity. They also want to have a exposure on crypto as well. To see their influence, their what they call their billionaires or millionaires friends are investing in the crypto. So they feel left out. So they want to get involved as well, but they don't know how, right? So that's where they engage with the asset manager or fund manager to help on allocation, right? 1 to 5% of risk exposure. Then talking about portfolio diversification is so important as well. Instead of focusing everything all into stocks or bonds or whatever, commodities like gold or oil, that's where you tend to move or to diverse a little bit of your portfolio. A little bit of risk, mixture of risk, that actually adds a balance. And then long-term growth potential, which is also true. Okay, so you are actually benchmarking between Bitcoin's performance versus S&P 5 or other asset class against S&P. That is always what most people are doing right now. Benchmarking, taking S&P 500 as the leaderboard so that we can be able to compare, okay, which asset class we can be able to compete or to do better than the S&P 500 on the US market. Okay. Okay. So there are many competitive positioning, maturing market infrastructure. Okay, too many. Right? So yeah, these are the gist of being an asset manager and the process. So you don't know how to get it done. I think in Malaysia, you have like Halogen Capital. They can able to help you, right? Like Luno, I believe so that you have, but for now, I think it's Halogen. Halogen is much more preferable, okay, in terms of assisting you to help you to navigate, okay, if you want to get some exposure to the ETF channel. Okay, then moving on next with the on-chain. Okay, so we talk about BTC and the bottom on bear market. So currently, last cycle, Bitcoin spent about 46 weeks below the 200-week moving average. Okay. And now, this cycle, Bitcoin has been below it for just 1 to 2 weeks. So probably we have another few more weeks left to consider this bottom, right? So many point to the 200-week moving average. It's a bottom zone in it, but it has historically been an extremely wide and variable zone. The 2 cycles before the last one had much briefer dilutions below the 200-week, but those were due to sudden drops below the. So yeah, we can see here. Chart. So where are we now? So we already broke before this 200 slowly coming back up. So if you look at the past historical cycle, so very, very similar, broke down first and then come back up to the test. Confirmation, right? Closing, giving you some slight glimmer of hope, and then continuation towards the downside. So that could be the case there. And yeah, also this was July as well. So July expectation is to go up first, okay, for this whole month. Okay, let's see how the Clarity Act is going to push the price of crypto later on. And if it's true, you might going to see 70K, 75, and then probably might top up from there for a lower high before hitting down. Okay, so that's the thing here, that the expectation to happen for this coming round and flowing by Q4. So Q4, hopefully we can able to get this thing moving. It will be great. Okay. Then starting the new year next year onwards, I think probably we should see something to look forward. Okay, to accumulate, and then hopefully the bull run is going to be a better one compared to last year. Okay, so that's the thing. And then next, right, talk about the standard bear market. Okay, and talking about the simple bands, right? Crypto coin yet again. Okay, so break below the midline, retest as resistance, orange arrow, right here, and then pause halfway to the cycle bottom band, which is where are we now? So now we are already below this midline on the middle band, right? Okay, and we are slowly going to retest at this green line here, the final green line, which is around 6K. Earlier, I remember he mentioned that this green line here will be somewhere around 28K, not mistaken. Okay, somewhere around 20K. Yeah, even this guy also mentioned about 28K. Yep, so as the price moves, this bands or whatever line for the yield will also move along. Okay, so probably back then, probably Q1 or Q2, CryptoQuant also have screenshot this, but probably at the earlier stage at around 28K. Right now, the band slowly starts to move up again. So the band have already settled down 6K. So should we see it around from 6K or slightly below 50K for this one, for this bear market bottom? Okay, so hopefully we can able to see something. Yes, retest. Okay, we get the retest. I think probably we will need to start accumulating. So the cycle bottom band price is around 6K and it's typically hit twice. Okay, so while waiting to hit twice, or about to hit first, might want to start to consider to really accumulate rather than waiting to hit the first green one. Okay, so that's my take here and strategy as well. Okay, to accumulate Bitcoin first rather than alts, because the alts can wait on. Okay, and we can able to rotate BTC to alts. Once ETH can outperform against BTC on the ETH chart, then I think probably we're gonna really, really go in. Then we talk about the network group. Okay, so what's happening now with the network group? Somewhere around 25. Is this good or bad? That's the most important thing. So during bear markets, participation has very little middle ground. Network growth does not rise the limit. Okay, expands during breakdowns as capitalization drives on-chain activity. Now, as it expands again, and it expands again during breakouts as conviction returns. So between those two phases, participation usually fits. Now, what happened is that it's going to create a what? A down market phase. When Bitcoin grinds sideways, remains trapped in ranges and slowly exhausts traders. So you see here what will happen. So expectation is quite high for a consolidation or ranging market. That's where is my favorite. That's where when everyone interest tends to shift from crypto to something else, or you're probably already given up, or probably literally move on from crypto totally. That's where we really want to focus on accumulation. Okay. When it grinds sideways, remains trapped in ranges and slowly exhausts trades. Why? Is because right now bear market is where favorable for trader. It's a trader's market rather than investors market. Investors market is where we want to focus on sideways accumulation. Because sideways, it doesn't create any interest for traders unless you're a scalper. Okay, because up and down, probably you want to take advantage of the movement, selling high, buying low. Probably you might want to scalp, right? If you're a full-time trader, but not for me. Okay, so bear markets alternate between bursts of activity and long periods of compression. Very little happens in between. So, okay, so to say here, probably by Q4, or probably by one final dip, okay, for BTC to drop. When I expect this thing to happen, down market, okay, a very boring market that you don't even feel like talking about crypto, that you don't even want to look at it. That's where you really want to enter. That's where you really want to, start nibbling DCA your cash position, okay, for BTC. All right, so talk about Benjamin Cowen, right? Okay, you see here, 2018, Bitcoin started late June, early July, with 2 green wicks. And then what happened to the third wick? It was red going into supply. And then Bitcoin bounced higher into late July, early August, before giving all the gains back in September. And then right now it's also quite similar. Okay, similar chart. So this was 2026, pretty much similar. This one as well. All right, also very similar as well. So you see here, this one. Okay, the May, June, so July. So this is the current one, so. And yeah, this one was the last 2018 one, so similar. Okay, so there you go. July, double high, a relief rally. For August onwards, okay, middle of August towards Q4, that's where we will hopefully we should see the one last drop, and probably going to accumulate. Okay, so no more debates. I'm pretty much tired as well. Some people think that this is the bottom, this and that. I want to prove the 4-year cycle wrong. From time to time again, okay, history may not rhyme, but somehow it does at the end of the day. Okay, all right. And then talking about airdrops, if you've been doing grass, okay, on your PC, I think maybe you guys can even start checking. You can able to claim, I think, around 22nd of July, which is next Wednesday. 1 week from now, you want to claim your stage 2 rewards, and I think the rewards will be much disappointed because it is a season 2. A lot of people are actually forming, so it gets saturated, okay, diluted, I should say. Okay. All right, so this is the final one, and I don't think I'm going to continue for season 3 or whichever. Then GRVT, okay, so TGE, again, will be by 2 days from now, okay, which is Friday as well. So if you've been doing this, you might want to register your airdrop, okay? Then you might want to choose whether you want to receive by 17 or you want to stick to have a multiplier, okay? So that's the thing, okay, about this airdrop. And then moving on next with the coin market cap. We can see currently it's at 2.2 trillion, BTC is at 65.3, ETH 1.9, okay, and then what else? Solana 77, 78, Hyperliquid 68 back. I think everything is really pushing up, like I already mentioned. Okay, for Clarity Act, it is really pushing. Okay, everything is really pricing extremely high at the moment for a relief rally. Okay, so Gnosis 11%, last 24 hours with Palm 10, Zcash 9, EH 5, Ether 5, 8.6, Pongo 6%, Hyperliquid 5.9. Pretty much interesting, but again, like I said, if you compare to the all-time high, it is only down 90% still, except for Hyperliquid and a few others who are actually forming. Okay, then technical, you see Bitcoin dominance. Right? So what to expect from dominance is so important. Dominance now is down, right? And then now probably you're going to see all those zones here. 8%. Then on the weekly time frame, as you can see, price breakdown below the middle band, go back to the entry cell. Then it's slowly starting to break higher. So the left 7, 9%, 1.43. And then we look onto the daily time frame, also you can see standing break back again from the middle band, maintaining. So now it's stuck on the sell zone. Should we see a break up, then the top view will be next. So far, it's trending up now. So I think probably Bitcoin will have a much better move. If we look at ETH against Bitcoin, is it doing the same? Probably yes. So it's slowly starting to drive up. You can see already, slowly starting to really break, okay, for the ETH against Bitcoin. Now we're testing on this middle band. So it needs to break up and close above. And then we have other levels to consider as well for this level here, 0.03697. Next level, and then of course we look at this stop here at 0.04051. Okay. Then what else? Descending break. So we've got a lot of work to do here for ETH against Bitcoin. Top BB 003180. Okay, as a next stop. Look at the daily time frame as well. Looking at higher high, high low, higher highs again. So overall, we can see the alts also really starting to go back up again. Okay, and we look at the dominance for USDT. The dominance USDT now is coming back down. Already expected, right? Price break up, pullback. So the pullback, we're going to look into probably around this level here. For test at around this level, 8.05 still. Okay, that will be the critical support, and then probably we're going to look into this level as well. So higher highs, higher low, now creating a higher high, then now creating a higher lows. So these are the zones here to watch. 8.06 and then 7. So these are the range for the watch. Now on weekly, nice uptrend, pump, and then pull back again for a higher low. So we're going to watch the middle band as well, 7 point. And then on the daily time frame, also price breakdown, pull back for the 3 now. Okay. So level here, 8.29, going down. Then of course, this 8.42. Okay, so for hourly candle, you can see also broke down, break, pull back to the entry, sell, break down. Okay. So there you go. Okay, so there you go. That's the thing about this. Okay, USDT dominance, and then we look at BTC now. So BTC now is slowly starting to break towards the upside. Okay. Broke this critical support. Now coming back up for a short term. We have a lot to consider here. 66.9. Here, this 66.9 here, 66.7. Then continuation towards the upside, you should see the 73.3. Let's see. Because there are a lot of cycles here as well. Test and then probably see whether it can maintain. Look at weekly. Price break, move back to the entry cell. So I think continuation probably you might be around the 69.6. 6, look at daily now. Okay, nice bottom break, consolidation now with a bullish engulfing. So where is next? This one here, 66.3. Look at H4. V-shaped recovery, pullback, consolidation, pump. Okay, so I think probably we'll see another level again. Instead of 65, so probably continuation at around the 66.3 and then 69.6. Okay, so that is a level you can watch later on. This is another resistance. Then look at ETH 1.9. Okay, so down. Okay, so we have broke past the major support here. Now it's slowly starting to come back up. And we should see probably maybe to test here at 2141. These more heading down. Okay. Then we look at the weekly time frame, so you can see price did a momentum sell, pullback, entry sell, hitting higher again. So the middle band next, that will be about 2020 for ETH. Okay. So everything is trending. Okay, we'll be really careful for this Friday. I think probably it could be a hiccup there on Friday. So if you are trading on leverage, you might want to consider taking profits or probably lock in or trading stock or whichever. Okay, because it's a very dangerous move. Okay, then let's move on next with other individual alts. Look at SPX 6900. Okay, so you can see the SPX Is it going up or down? So it's still down, isn't it? All these ups, these micro cap coins are actually down. Okay, 2.28. Here now, 37 cents, about 83%. How is this a bottom? So we see here. Okay, 44 cents is the current resistance. Current support here. It's about 26, 27. When we look at weekly, pump consolidation, break, pump again, consolidation. I think we're most likely to create another level up. This type of consolidation. Now, I think this is a very nice setup here. You might want to look for all this consolidation, boring consolidation phase to accumulate for your ops. It was January this year all the way to April, for about 4 months there. 4 months of accumulation, then break, and then now come back down. So coming back on me. So it's about 2 months of now. 2 months is consolidation. So probably maybe for SPX is 900, maybe might consolidate within this range, and then continuation up. So that could be the case for SPX. And then what else? Look at pump.fund. All these outs. Are they in incubation range? Maybe yes. Look at monthly. Still down, right? No price discount. Still in the price discount. And the current resistance is 0.0019. The current support only is this year. So these are the things. What to consider in this smaller crypto micro cap points. Okay. Still down, consolidation, sideways. So a lot to consider rather than entering like that. And then you're going to look at the development team. Does that give you any conviction for them to proceed any new stuff before you really consider? Not, there's no point holding it as well. Okay, pump went up, consolidation. And then on H1 also pump was creating another bullish flag, let's see. Okay, for pump.fund. But again, like for this alt, I think it might maybe want to come back on Q4 rather than now. There's no point buying even right now. Okay, despite if Bitcoin were to go down one more round, so it's going to drag these points as well. So we look at Pi Network, 8 cents, and it's still finding a new low. Look at that. So how are you going to buy? What sort of conviction you're really going to add to buy? Not even a consolidation. Is this trending all the way down? No stop. Look at that. No stop. Right? Free fall for Pi. So if you are holding and you're since day one till now, your cost of opportunity totally gone. Right? You wasted your years of doing all this mining. And you're still reluctant to sell. And now you're down 1% again. So what's the point? 10 cents next. Test back here on the sell zone, about 9 cents. But it's really, really bearish. It's more than 90% drawdown. Then what else? Look at PIF as well. Last one. PIF network. Now, PIF. Okay. Do we see a consolidation or ranging pattern? That is the interesting question here. Ask yourself. Okay, because I'm a big fan of this long accumulation range. Okay, the longer the sideway, the bigger the break. Okay, and if you can range from months to at least 6 months to a year, that would be awesome. Okay, like Lighter is a very good example. Lighter, Chainlink, okay, those are very good accumulation zone to actually do accumulate. It gives you a lot of time to actually buy the dip to DC. Okay, so right, look at PIF, still consolidation sideways, but you're gonna wait for more confirmation, right? Because we do not know. And how old is this consolidation for when? Here, somewhere it drops here, right? So let's say the bottom here. So it's about 20 Feb, second Feb till now. So it's about 5 months into the game, 5 months into consolidation. So let's see, because the range doesn't seem so convincing of a sideways movement. It's still trending down. Probably maybe this could be a divergence. So let's see. Now on the daily time frame also you can see higher highs, high lows, higher highs, high lows. So there you go. Trend now peaking at this top. So we should expect a pullback for PIF. Alright guys, that's all. Thanks.